In today's interest rate markets, let's check in on the 10-year note today as we're seeing another very significant move in the 10-year note futures today. We're seeing further downside action. And with today's price action, we are now seeing the 10-year note futures pushing down to the lowest level of 2021. And actually, we're seeing them actually trading at nearly the lowest levels here in quite some time. You have to go back to basically February of 2020 to see the 10-year note futures trading here in that 135 handle, currently 135.25 on the March contract. And when you look at some of the factors, I think playing into why we're seeing this continued downside pressure here, I think the storyline surrounding the stimulus measures continues to dominate the theme. Couple that with some of the inflationary expectations shifting over the last couple of weeks as well, as we're seeing commodity prices continuing to push higher here. And also just the idea, I believe, that the stimulus measures are going to be quite substantial. They're going to have quite an impact, at least from a short-term perspective, on the economy moving forward. At least that seems to be the theme that's kind of proliferating now through the markets, and that continues to maintain some pressure, it appears, on the interest rate futures, so the Treasury futures. So looking at today's price action, I want to point out that as we see now the 10-year note futures pushing down here to these lowest levels in quite some time, volumes also picking up as well. And when you look at the yields today, we're seeing a 10-year yield at 130, 130 basis points, or 1.30. So that's the highest level, again, on basically a year. Also, when you look at the 30-year, we're looking at 209 basis points, or 2.09%. And again, that's pushing up to higher levels here, certainly the highest for 2021. And I also want to point out, when you look at just the pricing action within the interest rate futures markets today, you are seeing the 7s, the 10s, and the 20s really getting bid up more so than the front end of the curve, and even the back end of the curve, the 30s, where we're seeing, again, continued strength. But it is interesting today as we're seeing that yield curve shifting with a little bit more pressure in the middle of the curve around those 7s, 10s, and 20s.